Welcome everybody to the show, the Vast Podcast. This is Mike G. I got great guests today. Great guests. Was play for the Oakland, play for the Buccaneers, play for other teams. Now he's the president of the NFL Alumni. To our show right now, well-rounded Walter Carter, ladies and gentlemen, and also his right-hand man, Mr. James Ridley, the director also of the NFL Alumni. Welcome, gentlemen. How are you?
Doing great.
Doing good.
Doing well. Good. Much appreciated.
Yes, I appreciate you guys coming on the show. And James, thank you again. So Mr. Walter, first thing, you used to play football and now you're the president of Alumni. How is that going for you? Second term. Do you like it? Does it keep you busy?
Whoa, yeah, definitely keeping me busy. And I thoroughly enjoy it because our mission is to give back. I mean, I think in our forms, 92 cents of every dollar goes right back out to the community. Disadvantaged kids. Our mantra is that the NFL will not allow anyone to use their shield and make profit off of it. So it's a blessing to be able to use that shield and give the NFL the credence and the attention that it deserves, but do it in a positive way, caring for kids. And it's the oldest, most established sports organization out there, club. So we've been around since the 1960s. So it's very rewarding. I'll make a little quick plug, but you and I were talking before we went on air. One of the things that we will be unveiling this year, sometime this fall, is a children's obstacle course. It's going to be over in the newly renovated West River projects, right by University of Tampa, right downtown near Armature Works. It's designed for 12 and unders, and it's designed for special needs, and you have 4 levels. And some of the things that I think in doing these golf tournaments, it's easy to talk about some of the things we do, but one of the things that this is going to benefit is that we'll be able to see, touch, and feel some of the things that we do. And also, it's going to have a 40-yard dash. I think every kid out there wants to know when he runs the 40-yard dash, and it's electronically timed. And we believe in competition. So it's been on the book since 21, right after the pandemic, when a lot of kids were not playing, were not getting outside, and we believe in putting physicality back into the lives of these children. I know you guys are younger, maybe James kind of right there on the borderline, but in my day, there used to be a thing called the President's Physical Fitness Test. And you competed across the country with all other kids in your age bracket to see how you stacked up. And it's a motivator. And so what we want to do is bring back that competition and have these kids see how they stack up and then show their improvement from being 9-year-old to 10-year-old to 12-year-olds. And then all of a sudden you light a fire inside of them and they start competing on the inside. We know what the outsides is like because the 40 going to say you don't run no 4.5. But maybe by the time you get to run a 4.5, you'll realize how much work it takes. So this is a physical, actual thing that we can't wait to unveil this fall. And this is what these funds that we're raising in this golf tournament is all about.
Nice. So, James, where do you play this role in the golf tournament? I mean, you just helping out here? What's going on? Because this seems big, guys. I mean, I've talked to other people. What's up, Patty? About these organizations and stuff like that. Tell me your side of it.
Yeah, so it's a great organization. Walter, the president, tapped me recently to participate in terms of bringing that excitement in terms of golfers, in which I am a golfer. I just played in the tournament recently, and we got 3rd place. I also played with Pete Brown, who was one of the first black golfers to win a PGA tournament. So very, very familiar with the game of golf. And so with my experience and expertise in the field, I know quite a few golfers out there. I want to make sure that it's a successful tournament, and especially for the kids. I mean, this is all about caring for kids, and I have a passion for giving back. We want to make sure kids think, I play sports, that's who I am. That's not who they technically are, but we want to make sure they get a fair shake, and that the charity is designed to help them pay it forward. So we want to give them an opportunity to, if they want to be in the NFL, that's great. If they want to be a CEO or a president like Walter is now, or the NFL alumni, that's great too. But what they are is they're an investment in our future. So I feel very strongly about what I'm doing today. And Walter talked about the 4. I don't know where my speed would be, but I might be able to keep up with Walter. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm sure you can.
Well, I don't know, man. Yeah, I mean, this is very cool. Because I never heard of the NFL alumni, and you brought it up to me, and I did my research. The research is great because it expands to membership and it extends to all other states. So how is that, Walter and Mr. James here? How does that work? Does it grow for the tournament as well? Because people fly in and join as well?
So, very good question. The NFL alumni, we've had as many as 42 chapters. I think right now we're currently at 35. So even though there's only 32 NFL teams, there's always going to be one in most NFL cities. And then there's places that are just rich in football tradition, like Oklahoma. They sign up, and so they'll end up starting a chapter. I think what you said is very important, because when you're an NFL former player, if you were in the union, you have to be vetted, you have to have played, you have to be invested in order to be a member of the NFLPA. That's an exclusive club. But for the NFL alumni, we have 4 different criterias that we're made up of. Obviously, former players, first and foremost, but we also have former cheerleaders that are members. And because we do so many kid-centric things, we have a very robust, I'm very proud of our cheerleaders. They do a great job, being cheerleaders. I'm telling you, once a cheerleader, you're always a cheerleader. And I'm trying to say this properly, but let's just say the girls hold up a lot better than the boys when they get older in life. So some of these ladies that were cheering in the 80s and 90s and stuff like that, I mean, they can still get out there with that pom-pom, and they can still bring excitement to what we do. And then we also have one of the best criterias out there, which is James, our tournament director, is an associate member. So all you have to do is have a passion to give back. All you have to do is say, I too want to be involved with this NFL Alumni Association. And I didn't play ball. I might have been the kid that wish he played ball. I used to sit at the other table at the lunchroom, and I wasn't in this group. But right now, I want to be in the game, coach. And we say, come on over, because we have another slot called associate membership. And we also have the wives of former players. So we're open. And I'm very proud of that, because a lot of our members come from all walks of life. We got a lot of business people, people like James, and then we have a lot of ladies. And then also, first and foremost, we have our former players. So, and it's been going on since the 1960s. And collectively, we give back on average about $1.5 million a year. Back to these charities throughout the country. And believe me, I say this with much respect, NFL does not want anybody utilizing that brand for anything other than giving back to these communities. So we're regulated constantly. We have auditors all the time. And, there's only 3 other letters that's just as powerful as NFL, and that's IRS. So we have we meet all of those criterias, and it's very rewarding to go back and do what we're doing with the obstacle course, or to go in and find a smaller charity that $5,000, $10,000, it means a lot to them. It might be the difference between keeping those doors open. I attended an event yesterday at a place up in Holiday, Florida, and it's called Am Skills. And what they do is they take college kids, bound kids, and they teach them a trade. When I was in high school, I didn't even know it until after I graduated from college that my school was actually a vocational school. Well, back in the day, they used to have vocational schools, and you could learn auto mechanics and you could learn, different hands-on construction jobs. Well, some of that kind of needs to come back around. So we participated in their ceremony. And they graduated about 35 men. I mean, some of the guys were like in their 50s being retrained to go back in the workforce because some of their jobs were, changed or went out of business. Mm-hmm. And they gave them a certificate. And believe it or not, they gave them cash money, $150. Well, it doesn't sound like a lot. But when you get to $150 and a certificate, and now you got a trade, and they got interviewed on that day to go out and get a job, to go out and just work in manufacturing. So for us to be there, representing the NFL alumni, trying to help them, motivate them, and inspire them to let them know that we're here for you. That's one of our partners that we give back to be able to help facilitate that. It has nothing to do with football. It has everything to do with motivating people to be better. And that's in essence what the whole NFL alumni is all about.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. Just a quick question. Is it challenging to get all this together, or do you all work together? Makes it smooth transition and execution? Because it looks like a lot, but you have a strong symbol behind you. I understand that, and that's great. The NFL is not a joke. But this is big. So I just wanted to know from James or you, Mr. Carter, if this is challenging to get people to sign up to play golf, because this is going to be a big event on the 19th of May, correct?
Correct.
It definitely is. I'll let James expand on that. That's James' job. I'm just kidding. We all work together, and James does have a lot of insight into the golfing world. And again, it is a challenge, but it's very rewarding. We typically sell out every year, but it's always down to the stretch, and that's where we're looking for James's expertise to help us get over the finish line. And I'll let you expand further on that, James.
Yeah, so to answer that, or in a short sound bite, it is a very, it's just like any other project. You have to prepare and make sure that we're looking at every aspect of making sure that the golfers who come out to participate, that they are accommodated, that they get their swag bag, that they are going to be fed well, so that they can swing well. And it is a qualifier, so we're looking at, make sure their handicaps are what they are, and that the scoring is legitimate. So in that process, I'm working with Mike Woods over at the Carrollwood Country Club, which is a great facility, and we're going to make sure that it goes out as a 5-star event. With that said, I've elicited a ton of volunteers. We've got some really pretty cheerleaders who are going to be assisting in the process. So for the guys, don't get nervous. But I mean, if you've got a pretty girl sitting next to you, that's par for the course. So with all of that, we also have a clinic, a young lady by the name of Clemmy Perry, who's also going to be participating as far as a partnership. But we have something for everyone who wants to come out and participate. But so to make sure that everyone has a ultimate experience, we have it very well organized. We're going to get there very early, so parking spaces are going to be a little tight, but we want to make sure that when you enter the clubhouse, that you're ready to play golf. You're ready to tee off. 9:30 is the time that we're going to start it, and I'll be working with Mike to make sure that everybody's fed well, that they know their places when we tee off. We're going to make sure that if somebody is at the hole where we have a car, and that ball goes in the hole, hey, they might be driving away with a car. Who knows? So we want everybody to be on their best behavior, and we'll make sure that the golfers are having a very exciting experience. It's going to be May 19th, and we also, to the level of knowing that the weather in Florida is a little warm, that we're going to have something for them to kind of cool themselves off. We're going to be in some pretty inclement weather in terms of the heat. So everybody's going to be accommodated in that respect. And we're going to have a cart person come out and bring beverages and those type of things. But
Very nice.
We're thinking about this. It's just like, similar to the Masters in terms of the way they put together their tournament. We have to make sure that everybody's accommodated. But it's all about the kids. So when you think about if this is for your kid, how would you perform? Are you going to do it for five, at a 5-star rate, or are you just going to kind of, not put all your effort into it? So
you're gonna bring your 100 game, your 100%.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be very challenging.
And so Walter, I'll call my coach.
You must have a mean game, Walter. You must have a mean game. James telling you you're his coach. Whoa.
No. I'm not his golf coach. I can tell you that right now. He's talking about other coaching. I'm sure of that.
Yes. No, but he's done a great job in the past. So I just want to continue having it as an ultimate event and carry it on as like we said, it's all about giving back to the community. And there's bigger other events that are going to be going on within the year. So you'll be hearing more about that as well.
No, that sounds great.
So displayed here, I see you got the brochure up, and we'll get that out to all the golfers. Some already have it. So yeah, I'm very excited. I'm charged. I'm ready to hit the ground running. So
yeah, it sounds like it's high quality. That's what brings the tenacity of it, because it's everybody's going to be in their game. All the people, you're treating them with red carpet, with white gloves and everything like that. It's really nice. That's what makes it dynamic. So my curiosity is, how long did the time frame get to this point? Does it take you a year? Do you start 2 years away to get everything rolling? Because I want to see how it is in the background, if you don't mind me asking.
Well, we probably 2 months out, we started really hitting the ground on this one. But it's on the calendar. We've already have a date for next year, so we'll get a little bit further. We have a date to move it back into the March weather, because we are living in Florida, and we think it's important to try to play in that sweet spot of living in Florida. So we're working on 26 already. So if that tells you how much emphasis we put on the tournament, this is the number one fundraiser for us throughout the year. We have multiple ones, but most of the things that we do, like the Beyond Sports, is also in May. Backpack giveaway, of course, that's in August. Then we have football and cheerleader camps, that's in June. So it's not, this. We always have something going on, and so it's kind of hard to just overly dedicate to that one thing, although the golf is our biggest thing. And the one thing I do want to point out that hasn't been said, the winning team gets an all expense paid trip to the Super Bowl of golf. This year, the name? I know it's in Atlanta. Chateau
Elan. I was just there last weekend. It's a resort. It's a winery. It has a spa. It's a premier spot north of Atlanta, and a lot of people in Atlanta know about it. But yeah, I was. It's impressive. So
it's a very we change venues every year, and that's like all your team, whoever wins gets an all expense paid, flights and all, to go to Atlanta and compete. Last year's tournament was in New Orleans. And I'm very proud to say, out of all the chapters across the country, the Tampa chapter won the Super Bowl of golf. So we are defending champions. There was a group from Morgan Chevrolet, one of our sponsors, the sponsor for the hole-in-one with the car. So, I mean, it's kind of a poetic justice. They sponsor us. They go out. And I played on that team. By the way, I make sure I say this correctly. They were old school, true car salesmen. I think they drank and smoked every hole, but they could hit the ball a mile, and then we had the best fun. And I wasn't able to make the championship because I subbed out another guy that really let's just say him in New Orleans fit better than me in New Orleans, and he upped the team, and they had a great time, and we were rewarded, and we won, and we hadn't won that in 25 years. So we're defending champions, and we go places like Palm Springs, California. We go to Las Vegas. We go to Hawaii. They go to Hilton Head. These tournaments are done all over the country all the time. So there's always a Super Bowl of golf.
Very nice. Very.
How'd you pull that up?
Hey, it's on the website. I'm just promoting. It sounds good, guys. I appreciate it.
There, Pacira, which is a pharmaceutical. The one thing that's really good about them, they'll be a big sponsor, is that they are going to be talking to the kids when I told you about the Beyond Sports, and they'll also have some things that's passed out at the golf tournament. They believe in non-opioid pain relief. So it's a very, because one of the things that we have to deal with in today's society is mental health, opioid addiction, all these kind of things. So when you think of Pacira and you think of pain, just think of non-opioid, because sometimes a sprained ankle or a pulled tooth will hook the wrong person on opioids, and they have ways of being able to control pain. And we're very proud that they see the benefit of partnering with us. And that's why you might see that. And then you see Martin Gramatica. He was big name around town back during the Super Bowl era, the first time. And he's going to be our spokesman. And he started a company as well. And his company is able to take imaging to be able to find any ailments within your heart and some of the stress things that you don't necessarily find out. I mean, a lot of times we go to the doctor after something hurt. This is preventative opportunities that it can scan and make sure the blood flowing is correct. And and it might be for a little older generation, but all guys should be checking themselves out. So everything we do is positive for the kids. It's also positive for we do everything from trust funds to 529s. The bank want to talk to all of our people because we got every age bracket involved in that. And so anybody that partners with us generally is giving back, and they understand that we have what is, I say this jokingly, but anyone that has ever watched a football game, this is, and they always tell you at the very end, this broadcast is only done to those who have the express written consent of the NFL.
All right.
Well, I say we're the NFL on sale because you get the express written consent to use that shield because we get to use the shield. The shield is powerful. As long as you're not taking it to make profit, that's what we have. And as long as we honor it and do correctly by it, then we get to use it because we have the express written consent of the NFL. And if anybody ever go out there and want to cut a deal with the Bucks, you'll find out how much it really costs. And for us, you'll run back over here and say, "I'll write y'all the check first." And so I say that in jest, but a lot of corporations like Pacira, they're starting to learn that you get a lot of play out of using that shield, and we can get a lot of mileage out of promoting what you do as long as you're doing things that are right by the people. So that's kind of
that's nice. That's nice. That's nice. Are you also let's say, because it's a new generation coming in now, the NFL, or retiring out of NFL. Are you guys also helping them financially? Because I knew that was an issue back in the day that they didn't know what to do with all that money. So I see that you guys have benefits, health benefits, and so forth and so on. So if they come to you, your organization, would you help them out as well, like to invest and stuff like that?
100%. We have a lot of different. Those things are limited to mainly the players and the spouses. But if a player were to come in financial concerns and have some issues, we have a petition and a board that they could always come to, and no questions asked. There's a certain amount of money that's sent out to care for, get things caught up, and nobody knows that this is done. It's almost just something. If you need it, we're here for you. We do. I know one of several events. We just had one over in Orlando. Again, these are players and wives that they'll go out and they'll get a full scale, top notch physical from head to toe, and it's generally catered toward 50 and older. Because you got to cut it off at some point. And then the younger guys, we try to train them, as in, like I said, we're going all the way down into the college ranks now, these high schoolers, because they're getting paid. And so that's why this clinic Beyond Sports, we're starting it out in May 3rd. And that's designed for the parents of these kids and for the kids who are all of a sudden getting this money, and we're telling them, here's what you have to do. There's a thing called taxation that you got to learn about. You got to learn about. Some of the kids never even heard of mortgages. They don't really understand. They just want to go out and buy gold chains and a ride. And so, we want to always be the wisdom to these that generation. We'll also have a girl, Martika. She's doing a great job. She has a technology company, but she's also going to talk to them about social media. Everybody want to blast out everything they're doing, but I think everyone is finding out right now these players are getting robbed when they're on, because they know they're out of town. And then a lot of stuff, man, you put on the internet, you can't take it back. So we want to tell them a lot about all the pitfalls and all the benefits of properly utilizing social media. So I notice a lot, but we cover everything from the kids all the way through estate planning. We offer a discount to our seniors when we come in. We have not just wills, but we go into trust funds and all these kind of things and estate planning. We have these heart checks. I mean, sometimes you got to pay the guys, but one of the better events we did in Tampa was at Saddlebrook. And it was done. You have to have a limit because obviously money is money, but I think we had over 150 guys show up, including wives. But the criteria was they wanted it to look like the league. So it was predominantly African-American, and you could bring your wife as well. And she got a full assessment, and you had to be over 50, and they gave you a heart assessment, beautiful lunch, and a $500 stipend. We didn't have no problem selling that out. But again, on the serious side, we had several guys that were not even able. They had to take them to the hospital, and they followed up on them because they found things that were going on. One of them was a friend of mine because he's no longer here, and I heard word because it's medical. And I could tell something was going on. So we talked afterwards and later on, and I go, "What's up with you, man?" And he's like, they found this and my high blood pressure. And I'm like, dude, he's a friend. He's gone now. And I says to him, "When's the last time you been to the doctor?" He said, "When we was balling."
Wow.
I did just like that. I said, "Are you kidding me?" But, a lot of times, if you don't do stuff like this, these guys don't really realize that, they think they're invincible. The guy never smoked, he never drank, he never did drugs. I mean, he just never, and he was divorced. Sometimes that's why that woman will be the one that worries you and make you go to the doctor. And that's why it's better to be married. Married men live longer. Because if you just leave it up to yourself, sometimes these guys, man, they think they're invincible. And I say, well, does high blood pressure run in your family? And he said, yeah, my mama got it, my daughter got it. And I'm sitting there looking at him and I'm like, dude, get in there and talk to these people. And then, so they put him on the medicine. But it's such a tough challenge when you talk to a guy that's played ball, has been at the top of his game, and then he comes out and he's transitioning into life. This medical thing, he never really had that full-time job with medicals and benefits. So these are the things that this is what all of this is about, caring for kids and caring for our own. And a lot of times we know how society is. We lead with the kids, but we also know that we're caring for our own because sometimes it gets lost when everybody thinks football players made a bunch of money and blew all that money. Now they want help. So you got to kind of, they don't, unless you in the game and understand it, we leave with the kids, but we also make sure that we take care of our own, if you follow me.
Yeah, you have to take care of the kids. You can't take care of the kids if you're not around. That's how it is. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys. The time was amazing, well-informed. Now we all know what the NFL alumni is. Please become a member, sign up. Here is the website. It has all the information. And also check out the tournament on May 19th. The party, May 18th. I mean, I could imagine how that's going to be. Really nice.
It is.
James, you going to be there?
Good job. Yes, all included. Please sign up and come out and support the kids and have a good time. NFL alumni.
Awesome. Clubhouse Drive. Carrollwood is going down.
There you go. You heard it. You heard it here exclusively, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you so much.